God, that was a clusterfuck.
What was it? Just change your mic around?
Just literally spinning it 32 degrees.
Well, I'm sitting there watching you crank on it, and I'm like, stop! The cord's still attached. I can see it hitting the thing. You're gonna rip it out.
I was like trying to I was like, oh fuck, whatever. Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? This is the Two Dads Review.
Let him kick it off. Two Dads Review podcast. We are here. We barely have microphones apparently because Corey's trying to rip his out at the root. So it's amazing we come to you guys once a week. Trust me.
Yeah. I pretty much was trying to spin mine like it was a fucking turntable or something. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, it's rough. It's real rough. It's the fact this happens once a week on at least, once a week. You're getting a podcast sometime that week. It's really absolutely amazing that we can get this together.
Yeah. The fact that I get through the day is a miracle in itself every day.
Very true. So if you are new to our podcast, welcome. Sorry. And if you're a longtime listener, welcome back. You're in for a good show. We're going to go over, what is it? Episode 14 of Star Trek Discovery, the penultimate episode before the finale next week. Yeah, man. And then what? What are we doing after that? We are doing Black Panther the week after. We'll review that for everybody. We'll do Annihilation the week after that with Natalie Portman. That's supposed to be the big one coming out. Big old sci-fi. Everything's fucking colorful and weird. Creatures. I don't even think I've seen anything for that one. I'll have to watch the preview for it. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh no, we'll have to. I'll send you the preview. It looks pretty intriguing. They've released a couple of trailers, so some good link things that gives you kind of an idea what's going on. And then let's see, Red Sparrow is the week after that. That's Jennifer Lawrence as it's pretty much Black Widow without Marvel. So, and then the week after that, I think all we have it planned out to is Jessica Jones season 2. Is the week after that. So that's pretty much the next 4 weeks after the end of Star Trek. I have to go sit down and look and see what's going on after that, what everybody's going to want to listen to. If you have ideas, things you want us to review, guys, tweet at us at 2dadsreview on Twitter. We'll take any suggestions for ideas for shows we're going to look at. We're thinking about Westworld. It's coming out. We saw at the Super Bowl. Westworld has a start date for season 2. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I know it's here pretty soon. It's like 10 weeks away or 8 weeks away or something. So got to fill in time there at some point. But we are excited about finishing up the start. It's been a pretty cool Star Trek trip, don't you think, Corey? Yeah, dude, I've liked it. It's a good show. I love that you've enjoyed it being a non-Trekkie. There's things about it that are, here that are, complainable, but overall it's been a decent show to watch. I've enjoyed the addition to the canon that is Star Trek. I do like we'll get to it here in a few minutes. I do like how they closed a couple of loops in like, why don't we know about they closed a couple of like big issues with why does nobody know about Discovery? Why does nobody know about the mirror universe, and how are we already there before? They do all that in like one sentence in this episode. It's great. Did you catch that? I don't think so. No. It's near the beginning. I'll bring it up to you. It's great. But before we go into that, we'll cover a couple of our administrative things. You can always find us at 2dadsreview.com. That'll take you to our Audio Boom site. From there, you can listen to us right from there, or you can find links to our Apple Podcast, Google Play Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, and also new as of last week, Radio Public. You can also head over to the YouTube channel, Two Dads Review. And Two Dads Review is always with the word 2, not with the number 2. I have not been saying that for months, and I feel like I need to keep saying that now. But yeah, check us out. Follow us on Twitter. Check out our Patreon, all under Two Dads Review. And yeah, reach out to us. Let us know what you think. And yeah, anything on your end, Corey? What are you into this week? What's going on? Nothing, man. Just studying. That's all I'm doing. Studying, and then I leave for Colorado Friday. Nice. Where to? Going to Steamboat, man. Gonna go hit the hot springs and go snowboarding. Is it like up in the mountains? I don't know where. You told me where it was. I don't know where on a map it is. Yeah. It's like in the mountains. It's in like one of the bigger mountains in the Rockies.
ski resorts and stuff like that, but it's built on a natural hot spring. So I went there when I was a younger kid, when I lived out in Wyoming. And one of the coolest things I remember about it is like I walked out of the hotel and there's like a wooden walkway because there's like a natural hot spring that runs right under that walkway where it seeps up. And so like you walked out of the hotel in like 30-degree weather in like a pair of shorts, and you just walked across the hot spring and snow was falling on you, melting and shit. And you're just like, it's so warm. And then you go sit up in this like massive natural jacuzzi basically. And that was pretty sweet. So we're going to do that and check out the town and check out what dispensaries are there and all that fun stuff and see how it goes.
Dispensaries. Nice. That's right. It is Colorado.
yeah. I'm going to Legal Nation. So we're
Legal
gonna
Nation.
Go check it out.
Where the tax revenue is abundant.
Yeah, right.
Well, good. That sounds like fun. So next week's podcast, you're probably listening to us. If you're listening to us the day it's released on a Thursday, we may not get to recording until Thursday next week. So just when you go to your podcast app, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications for the podcast so you know when our finale review of Star Trek Discovery goes up. And we'll get notifications then on out as long as you'd like to for any of the shows we put up.
I'm gonna pack my stuff with me and bring it, and then if there's like because I know there's gonna be a night where everybody's gonna be beat from skiing or snowboarding, and like 7 o'clock's gonna roll around and everyone's gonna be knocked out, and I'm gonna be the only one because I drink coffee all day long, and I'm gonna be like, well, all right, let's see what we got going on. Let's call Clay.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, if we could pull a live from Colorado feed, we'll do it. And if they have good enough internet to run a Hangouts stream and, not screw the audio up completely, we'll be golden. So yeah.
Like I said, like I'll take some stuff with me because we're gonna be there for almost a week. So I'm bringing like the Xbox and all that jazz, dude. I'm not getting fucking stuck with nothing.
Right. What are you going to do? Read?
Yeah, right.
Bullshit.
Shit. Study for the PMP.
That's not a vacation. Not at all.
No, but I've already in my little calendar, like I've set times aside to make sure that I like at least study the flashcards and crap while I'm out there. I figured I'll just sit up on top of the mountain and read some of the stuff while I'm up there and be like, it's not too bad.
At some point I'll get it just because I'll remember I was on top of the mountain when I read that.
Yeah. So when I go take the test, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, this is where I was at when this piece of shit came up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This ruined the whole trip. This part right here. Damn it. Well,
this is where I had my first aneurysm.
It'll do it too, god damn it. So, well, good. We'll have a great trip. Appreciate you bringing your stuff along. You don't have to. We can always record later. The people that our listeners don't mind. You guys don't mind, right? Tweet at him, Slothbear35. Tell him you don't mind. Tell him take a break. Leave the microphone at home. It's okay. So, all right. Hey, let's get into this. Episode 4. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Before we get into this, okay, a few things I want to bring up real fast, not Star Trek related. If you have not started watching Altered Carbon on Netflix yet, stop and go watch it. It is a fantastic show. It just dropped, I don't know, about a week or two ago?
Yeah, something like that. I haven't watched any of it, but that's probably last week is when I started seeing things on Twitter about people talking about it and stuff like that.
If we had nothing going on, we'd be reviewing that show right now. I just want to put it out there. Like if we didn't have Star Trek to finish up, we'd be reviewing that show because it's pretty insane. It's a fairly original. Okay, so in a Hollywood full of reboots and everything, no one has an original thought in their head. Altered Carbon is in some places very original, and it's nice to see something I've not like. I don't go. Oh, this is like blankety blank show. But it is a futuristic type thing. It's I feel like they filmed Blade Runner 2049 and then didn't break any of the sets down and let anybody who's shooting in the future just use those sets with a little bit of tweaks to it. It's just how it feels when I watch anything that's set in the future now. This will
be one of those, Blade Runner set will be one of those sets that like they find in the future and they'll be like, what advanced civilization was this? Or something like that. Like, cause like, what is it? What movie is it where like all the set shit is still buried out in the desert?
Well, they unearthed Star Wars. I believe they unearthed the original like Luke's, Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, like they unearthed that whole like little thing.
Yeah. There was the Star Wars, but there's a movie, and it was like an Egyptian movie.
Yeah, I want to say that's right. Yeah.
Like
Ben-Hur, was it like the chariot racing one?
I don't know if it was Ben-Hur or like Cleopatra or something like that, but there's a whole like out in the middle of like Texas or Nevada desert or some shit like that. There's like
it's just buried under sand,
buried under the fucking ground.
That'd be some fun shit to find later. Yeah, that'll really screw up the historians. So, anyways, just bringing that up. Altered Carbon, another one that if you have Amazon Prime and you watch Amazon Prime Video, it's called. I know. Philip K. Dick's son of a bitch. Now I'm going to look it up and then find this fucking pause. Luckily, it happened early because I wanted to bring this shit up and now I done fucked myself. Electric Dreams. That show is sort of like Black Mirror, only not. I mean, it's each episode is its own enclosed story. There's no like continuity to anything in any of the episodes. The only way to describe it is it's very Black Mirror-esque. But Electric Dreams, it's based on short stories by Philip K. Dick. It's pretty amazing. Check that out as well if you are looking for something to watch when Star Trek is over, before Westworld comes out, before Jessica Jones drops. If you're looking for something to fill your time, Altered Carbon, Electric Dreams, that'll cover at least 20 hours of a day. So there you go. All right, so episode 14 of Star Trek Discovery. Corey, what did you think of the episode?
It was a good episode. Yeah, like it was a little bit of everything for everyone in it, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you get to see Star Trek be a little more warlike towards the end.
Right.
Like the understanding that like, hey, look, dude, you guys can be this big group of nerds in space all you want, but at a certain point in time, like you're going to have to defend yourself.
Right.
And right now, like this whole, like, we want everybody to be friends and hang out and blah, blah, blah. Like that shit ain't working, dude. That's like throwing a party and then having like MS-13 roll up in there and you're like going, hey man, like we're all going to be cool tonight, right? Like you're not going to kill anybody. And the Klingons are like, sure. Yeah. We're not going to kill anything. Okay.
I am worried and bothered by their choice at the end of the show, which we'll get to, of course. I think I understand you're desperate. I understand a third of your fleet is gone. I understand that you guys are losing the war, but to just dump her right back on the ship, it's like, I'm not really sure, and not put her as just a figurehead. Like, no, you still answer to the good people, but you're a figurehead to lead this thing and to be a voice in this group. Like, I don't get it, but we'll get there. Let's not jump ahead too far, because that part we'll talk about for 20 friggin' minutes, just that very last part. So, this episode is titled "The War Without, The War Within." So, I don't know if that's from Shakespeare. The last two have been. I don't think it is, but I didn't see anything where they said it was from Shakespeare.
Yeah, I doubt it is.
And so we open up with we see the Discovery's just kind of chilling. It's got some repairs going on because they're pretty messed up from their last encounter in the Mirror Universe and jumping back to the Prime Universe.
Yeah, you got to see all the Wally bots on it.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I was like, it's either
at the very beginning.
Yeah, it's either like little bots or little pods like the one that Tyler was driving when he went to grab that hard drive.
Yeah, I'd like to think they're just souped up Wallies. Right.
Just fixing the ship. But yeah, definitely stuff going on with the ship, getting everything fixed up. Repairs are happening. They actually bring that up later on. So first scene, you were wrong as fuck last episode we recorded because you were like, nah, they're not going to talk about it. They're not going to bring it up.
No, yeah, apparently it was the first thing they said. Yep.
I'm pretty, yeah. Right.
I stand corrected.
Not to rub your nose in it, but I'm pretty sure. I'm like, that's the first thing that's going to happen. The minute she walks off that ship is like, I fucking eat your kind, God damn it. But yeah, she does not hesitate to, Saru comes in, he's like, Captain? And she's like, Emperor, motherfucker. Emperor.
Yeah.
And then
she's like, who you're talking to, even though you have no idea who I am.
Right. She orders him on her knees and like Burnham does a nice little disarm move there, like quick too. Like she's not messing around. Like she disarms her like pretty quick.
Yeah, she did. Like she took it from her so fast, like that even everybody else in the room was like, "What just happened?"
How does she have that gun now?
Fucking sleight of hand magic trick going on.
Right. Giorgio says, yesterday we dined on the entrails of his brethren, and today you seek his favor. And like the look he gave her was just like he gave Burnham. He's like, really, bitch? Like, God damn it. We were doing so good. We had this thing going. We were back at it. And now I can't trust you. So he immediately transports her to guest quarters and confines her there. Like he has the transporter guy like, get her the fuck out of here. So he beams Giorgio right out of there. And he's like, and you lied to me again.
Yeah, he's like, you said. Yeah, he said there. Basically, he's like, you said there was none of us over there, and she's like, look, dude, you're pretty much cows. So I was trying to spare your feelings and stuff. So don't be too mad about it.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be a little more. I think he lets it go pretty quick. I think he takes her explanation. He's like, okay, you're looking out for me.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. Like he just was like, I can't really be mad about that. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like you ate somebody.
Right. You ate Kelpian.
But then again, like he also has got to know that like he's above and beyond his species. Right.
Even the ones in the prime. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely an outlier. So I'll give you that. I personally, last episode, our last podcast, I was like, it may be a bone of contention between the two of them for a long time. But by the end of this episode, those two are like all about it. All about each other. Saru and Burnham are going to be a force to be reckoned with, because they're going to have to band together to undo what the Federation has chosen to do, because she's just going to screw shit up. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I do like that. He tells the one poor bastard that, like, the guy who's just working his 9 to 5. He just shows up to work with his transporter room, and then like all of a sudden he's beaming somebody over, and it's her and this person from the mirror universe that's Giorgio, and he's like, if you fucking tell anybody, it's treason. He's like, sure, yeah.
He was like, God, I wish I had another job. Like his face was just like, I couldn't have been anywhere else right now. Like I couldn't have been in the bathroom or something.
Like I could have just, I didn't really feel good this morning. I got out of bed. I could have just called in sick. Timmy could have taken my slot for me. He's like, no, I should not be here. And so now this one poor guy is like, this one poor lowly, whatever rank he was, who like, I understand treason and all, but shit, like, he's going to tell somebody. He's going to be sitting around the dinner table just like having an absolute conniption, like not being able to tell anybody this shit.
Yeah, dude, like, because you got like the main cast, and so you're all like, okay, these guys are all in the know. And then now you have this one dude who is just like the outlier, and you're expecting him not to walk around this whole massive ship and be like, dude, that's not the real one. Like, no shit. Like,
well, the worst thing is it's not even all of the main crew. It's just Burnham and Saru. So like all of the other minor characters, because they were gushing over her when she walked on the bridge at the end of the episode. Like Detmer and Awozakun and all of them were just like, oh, she's back. Like they were all, they're not even, they're just drinking the Kool-Aid, man. They're like, yeah, it's her. Of course it's her. It's space.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. I hate jumping that far ahead, but Jesus, it's like, no, like you guys were on the, come on. Like you can't be, anyways. All right. We'll get there. So Saru is called to sickbay. So he's talking to Burnham on the way to sickbay. He's saying that there are no ships around. Nobody is answering any hails, that they're repairing the ship. They're running on auxiliary power right now. He gives her the update on what happened to Tyler, that Laurel had to do her little laser finger surgery. And then Saru, on their way to sickbay, Saru wants her to see him, to maybe a familiar face will help him heal, things like that. And, it gets a little bit, touchy touchy-feely because she's like, is this an order? Like, do I have to go see? Like, this guy literally just tried to kill me. Do I have to go see him?
Such a pussy about it, dude. I'm not even joking, man. Like, she was just like straight up like, I can't do it. Turned around and walked away. Like, whatever, man. If you were truly in love with that person, like, be damned if that dude like tried to choke you when he was having a whole nother personality take over. Like, you would go see him. Like, and I get it. Burnham's different.
Well, she's never dated before, so she doesn't have anything to go off of. She's never felt heartbreak before. Not like this, not with a relationship.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, man. Like, so why would she be reverting back like to this? Like, I don't know. To me, if you, look, I'm in love with my wife, like retardedly in love with her.
I would hope so.
In love with her. Like, if she choked the shit out of me because there was a split personality and like I went and did some crazy ass adventure and came back and everyone's like, yo, dude, that crazy personality is pretty much gone. Like, maybe you should go see him. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go see what the fuck's up. Like, curiosity would kill me over anything. Like, I wouldn't go, nah, man. Guy stared me down and choked me out. Like, I'm not going to go see that person.
Yeah. Well, okay. But you would take time to collect yourself, which she ended up doing because like she literally just, I mean, we're still within like 10 minutes of her battling Lorca. Like, it's not, I ain't got time for this right now. I need to get my head straight. You know what I'm saying?
She's had plenty of time to get her head straight. Dude, she's been doing so much other shit that should be so far down the back of her like thoughts that it almost should be not even remembered. I don't know, dude. I didn't, that was like one part of the show where I was like, really? Like, that was like my first, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, that's just stupid. Like, I did not like that. Like, and then later, you know, she sees him and she's all like, oh, I can't see anybody but fucking Voke's eyes now. Blah, blah, blah. Dude, just so, like, just whiny.
No, but even his part of the, like, when he started getting mad at her, I wrote down all of his shit he said because it's so fucking retarded. Like, let's just back up. We'll get to him meeting with her in a minute because it's like the shit he says to her is like, well, yeah, motherfucker. Like, of course she's not gonna want to see you. Like, stop. Like, you don't, just because shit gets difficult. No, you tried to fucking kill me. Goddammit. There's a difference between difficult and trying to kill me.
Man,
like,
but he didn't even put in a good effort to kill her. Like, it was like he got his hands around her and then he was like, I'm a conflicting personality fight. Like, man,
no. Super Saru, Slave Master, saved her. That's what happened.
It was fighting it the whole time. Like, she acts like,
nah, when that fight started,
like
it was all Vogue.
with like a knife and like try to pin her down and like gut her. Like, no.
Only because he didn't have a knife there.
Whatever, man. She's being a wuss about it.
Okay, all right. Agree to disagree. Because I do not agree with you at all with it. Because, and if only, yes, would you and I, with years of dating and then years of marriage experience, go in there and be like, what the fuck, bro? Like, yes, but we've had decades of relationships to get hurt and know what it feels like and know that you need closure and know this, that, and the other. But she may be the greatest Starfleet person that's ever lived to this day, according to Saru, but she's literally in high school dating her first boyfriend emotionally in her maturity level of emotion. So yes, back in high school, back in high school when you had a girlfriend and you broke up, you just stopped talking to him. You just stopped talking.
Like, you,
yeah, no. Because if you're done, you don't ever confront them. You just don't ever talk to them. You just avoid the fuck out of them.
The girl I ever fucking broke up with would never leave me the fuck alone.
Well, it's because you're a sexy man.
Oh, well, that is a big bold-faced lie, but thank you for the compliment.
it's your mutton chops you got going right now.
Yeah, that's what was holding them in.
Yeah. All right, so, Jesus, Saru is talking to Tyler without Burnham because she bails. We learned that Tyler, while being totally Tyler, can access all of Voke's memories. So L'Rell has severed the consciousness of Voke, but all of his insides are still there. All of his like memories and, you know, everything he's known is accessible by Tyler, which is that can be a good thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you would think like they wouldn't even need the Emperor because of him,
right? They wouldn't need to put her to captain of a goddamn ship. I'm just saying, stupidest shit I've ever seen. But okay, we'll get there. Yeah, so Tyler goes into everything about his species reassignment protocol is what they call it. What happened to him? You know, he's not doing well. Like processing what he did as Vogue. Like he's definitely hurt. It definitely. I'm gonna say it definitely wasn't his fault. Like Tyler's fault. He didn't do any of these things, but he's gonna blame himself for all of it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely he's gonna be beat up. But I mean, Stamets, I think, did like the best approach you could on it. Was like, does it eat you up inside? Does it hurt? Then good, you may still be human after all. You know, kind of comment. Like, I think even him knowing like what happened, he still also understands that it wasn't him. It was Vogue. Like,
right, and yeah, it could because he's not being confined to the brig. He's being confined. He's being limited to his quarters. He's got a wrist monitor on. Because I guess they're too cool for ankle monitors. Yeah, he's on house arrest. He can go to the mess hall. He can do certain things, but he's not doing his job. But yeah, I mean, they realize it's not his fault, but they also don't know how far they can trust him yet, and how well, you know, the new surgery took to separate himself, and how he's going to behave. Like he will still have PTSD, like probably even more so now that he understands and grasps exactly what happened. I hope they bring that back next season. That he still is going to have things to deal with. He can't just get better and be fine. He's going to have to deal with some things for a while, I would hope. That will be a nice character arc for him to overcome this and use the Klingon knowledge he has for a benefit and not see it as a disability, I guess.
You think he'll be around?
Yeah, I think he'll be around.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of going off Tilly's thing where she's like, you know, he's going to basically be a lab rat or in space jail. Like,
I could see that after the war,
like kind of writing him off a little bit, you know, like a fond farewell, especially now that Burnham's like, oh, you tried to kill me. I don't want to be with you anymore.
Yeah,
like,
but it'll be that.
He doesn't serve a purpose now. He doesn't serve a purpose now.
Nah, because while she did say it's hard for me to leave you, you know, it's gonna be, they're gonna cut that sexual tension with a knife, man. They're gonna be all about it. She's gonna be all about she'll be all about him later on.
If he's around, man. If he's around.
I mean, well, we've killed off. Look, can we stop killing off main cast people, please? We've got enough that we've let go this first season.
I think that kind of makes the show interesting. Like, because that was one of the things I always liked about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you started liking someone or really hating them, you know, like either one or two things happened. They did something so fucked up, you were like, oh my God, you need to get the hell off the show. Or you were like, why? Why did you take him away from me? No. So, like, I could see, especially this being an all access show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see them going, nah, dude, we don't got any allegiance to maybe you three right there. Like, that's it. Like, I could see Stamets, Burnham, and Tilly. And never being exiled, killed, lost, you know, whatever, any way you could think of getting rid of somebody. Like,
right.
Like, you know, Burnham's not going anywhere. Saru will probably not go anywhere. Tilly will definitely not go anywhere because we all know that Tilly's going to end up being captain. Like, and I said, whether we see it in this show or they do this like 20 years in the future kind of thing, you know,
right.
And Stamets is probably the most important character on the show.
Right, and if they don't find some way to magic Culber back into existence, which I'm guessing they're not going to, which pisses that hurts me the most of this whole season. Like that they killed Culber right away. It's not really right away, but I mean it was like 4 episodes ago.
That's true.
I mean, I hate that they killed him off. I thought they were going to do some magic spore fucking surgery. I mean, even if they bring him back just within the network and like Stamets can go talk to him, I will be placated enough. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, so like since we do like we always do, we're just jumping around.
Might as well.
Yeah. So now that we terraform the planet,
mm-hmm.
Like, do you think there's going to be some weird shit where he goes down and then it's like the spores are all connected and it's like homeboys, quote unquote, living there?
Who? Like Culber?
Yeah.
I mean, he could be, but yeah,
I'm saying
I mean,
if he's like in the network, you know, and this thing's basically the new network hub, you know, like anytime Stamets goes in, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like a way to like bring him back.
I think that at some point we'll see the way Stamets got lost and he was kind of on Discovery in his brain in the network. I can see that being like where he goes on purpose later on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like gets around some spores, gets jacked in and like goes inside and goes and lives his like has little staycations. right.
You know?
Exactly. Very true. I just hope they bring that act. I liked that couple. I liked the idea, and then for them just to kill the guy right off the bat and not like like I would have mind if you killed him and then magicked him back. Like I don't care. Like it's the spores. Nobody watching the show understands the spores.
Okay, now would you have cared if they wouldn't have made such a big deal about it being the you know, gay couple, and they're like, we're not killing him off, and like, you know how they basically said, they're like, look, dude, he's gonna be around, like he's not done, but he's kind of done.
Well, but medical officer, I mean, you need that kind of, especially for you to only show me that guy from medical. Like up until this episode, we had never heard another medical person speak. We saw a few white coats run around, but it was Culber the whole time, and medical. Especially when you get into like the science-y Star Trek-y episodes, medical, a lot of episodes like with Next Generation and with Voyager focused around the Doctor figuring something out alien, like, oh, something's happening, what's going on? And so for you to build up a medical person just killed, now it's like, oh, okay, well now I gotta go,
that's what I was saying. I wonder if like he'll basically be reborn within the network.
As a physical body? As a physical person?
Well, I don't think he'll be a physical person, but I think Stamets will be able to visit him and see him whenever he wants because of the network. Like, I think something weird with that planet is gonna go down.
I mean, that's
you know, I mean, even if he's like a Knight Rider voice, right? Like where he's just like lives within the network, you know, and like helps Stamets out. Like, you know, I wonder if they'll do some shit like that.
I don't know if they're going to bring... Yeah, I will be interested to see how or if they bring him back, because they made such a big deal of... And no, to answer your question, no, it's not because they're the first gay couple on Star Trek, but it kind of is, because why would you take that opportunity to tell that story and then do... this kind of death would have been like our really... Because, to be completely honest, we liked them, but we didn't know anything about them other than Stamets hates Caecilian opera. Like, we didn't really know about their relationship. You didn't give me time to grow roots with this couple, you know? And so if you're going to have this, any couple, especially, you know, Star Trek is notorious for everybody who's in the main cast is safe. Like, there's going to be some close calls and some folks may fake die and then not be all the way dead, you know? But you were pretty sure you were going to keep your whole cast. Now, that being said, if you build me a relationship with the two people on the show that we all get vested in, we see them go through trials and tribulations on Discovery, and, you know, where Stamets' science and Culber's, you know, medical and caring side clash, and they go and they heal and they recover from different issues, and then somebody dies, that's when I'm with a fucking box of tissues, like, losing it on the couch watching the show. Like this one, I was like, oh fuck, that's what I said. I was like, no, it wasn't like sad. It was just, well, crap, he's fucking dead. Like, wait, like we're 10 episodes in. Like, this is stupid. So,
yeah, dude, I've
had time to think. I can bitch about it now.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, it's infuriating, but it's also like, it could be intriguing. And I'm just wondering if they're gonna make it intriguing. Like if they're gonna, if Star Trek really wants to like wow me, like get in there and do some space sciencey shit and bring this dude back. Like don't give, because I'm a little pissed because of the effort they put into it. for the whole community. They're like, look, guys, just chill the fuck out. Like, he's gonna die, but it's not really that big of a deal. Where I'm just looking at it now, going,
right,
you guys just flat out fucking killed this dude, and then you tried to say, don't worry about it. Like, he'll be back, you know. So I don't think they, for the effort they put into it to make it seem what they were doing, like they're not doing that.
Yes. And I think I had that gripe like literally the week after. That was my complaint, was that you guys told me you weren't that he's not all the way dead, but just because you're going to bring him back in Stamets' brain for 2 episodes, that's not bringing him back. That's just letting Stamets get his closure, but that's not the same thing. Like, you guys just, yes, I don't need you to lie to me. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like, don't lie to me, you know, or at least like you said, don't bring someone on a show to misrepresent information just so you can keep
for
a
couple
gimmick
more
going.
Episodes. Right.
Yeah. And then don't tell me you're going to have an openly gay couple and tell me they're going to be around and then they're not. Like I want to see an interaction like that. Like, I want that to be on the TV. Like, I think that should be on the TV. That's not, I don't think, I'm almost pissed that it's all access too, because I think like this should be a little more mainstream at this point in time. Like, you're gay, cool, no big fucking deal. Like, that's how it should be.
Right.
Right. Like, but it's still not. And that annoys the fuck out of me. Mm-hmm. And then they go and pull some weird shit like this, where now I'm just kind of left wondering, okay, did you guys just try to like wolf in sheep's clothing me here? Right. Or, you know, what are we doing?
We got bamboozled.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Bamboozled. Great word. Yes.
Okay. All right. So agreed. We can talk about that for an hour. So you can actually go back to the podcast after he died. So I guess the episode after he died, maybe, and we go on about it for a while. I go on about it at length. So go back to that podcast if you want to hear me rant for like 20 minutes on lying to us about when you go on TV shows like After Trek. Anyways, okay. So after we're done at sickbay, we are on the bridge and there's sensors that a Federation vessel is approaching, and Saru's like, well, hail them. And they're like, no, they have their shields up and their fucking weapons are armed. He's like, well, put your shields up then. And before they have a chance to get the shields all the way up, a boarding party beams onto their bridge, which was pretty, you could tell that they have done that before. Let's just put it that way. Like, they have practiced that maneuver where they're like, we're going to beam all these folks in a circle on the bridge, get everybody secured, and then boom, we're going to beam over the folks that need to talk to everybody. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you could definitely tell that was standard procedure at this point in time. Right. This is how we board ships now. So once the boarding party that consists of Andorian, which I love seeing the Andorians. It's very cool. The blue guys with the antenna, they're cool. Once he secures the bridge and he calls over, says it's safe to transport, we get surprised, quote unquote, two dads, air quotes. We get surprised by Cornwell and Admiral Cornwell and Sarek is there. And Burnham's like, Sarek, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, what are you guys doing? We're here. We're fine. And Cornwell immediately asks, like, where's Lorca? Because they know now that Lorca's all screwed up. And then Sarek, like, puts his hand out to shut up Burnham. And all of a sudden, the Admiral activates a command level override, which pretty much is like, nah, this is my ship. Like, it's mine now. And after she command overrides the ship, which is already like crazy weird, that I know they exist, but she just walks on there and just takes that ship like that quickly, which is kind of cool. Sarek, I'm going to say, I mean, there's no better way to say this. He mind rapes Saru because a mind meld is not like something you just kind of do at a party. Like that's some intimate shit. And yeah, he was like doing what the times call for. Yeah, he's like, no, girl, it's cool. That's it. You'll be fine. And yeah, so he goes through Saru's brain, and they know that he is who he says he is, and everybody's cool, and he immediately like knows everything that's happened. So he knows that Burnham's been through some shit. And like he even gives her a look like at the end he looks over to her and he's like, what is going? He's like, holy shit, girl. Like, what have you been through? What let's see, what else do we find out? Oh, he says the Discovery has been through an inconceivable ordeal. That's when he looks at Burnham. He's like, that whatever you've been through, that's crazy. And they inform Cornwell that the Mirror Lorca is dead, the one that she was looking for. So everybody's happy, and they break for commercial. We come back to her vaporizing the bowl of fortune cookies. Like in the most like bitchy ex-girlfriend move ever. It's like she pretty much lit his shit on fire in a bucket in the front yard is what that was.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that was.
And Burnham, like, even the look that Burnham like gives, like her side eye to Saru is like this bitch is crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah, like yo, give her some space. We don't need to be around for this.
Yeah, this is not. We shouldn't be here. Like, let's not forget that we literally just fired a weapon in a fucking conference room, just for fun. Not on a range, not like in a controlled environment. We just shot something in the middle of the table in a conference room.
What I like, and this is where phasers and blaster rifles and all that other shit like blows my mind, because in any future space movie I've seen shoot stuff, it only hits that concentrated thing. Like there's no like shrapnel.
Yeah, and there's no blowing through things.
Yeah.
True. Doesn't make it any less dangerous.
That's true. That's very true. Like I'm just always like, shouldn't it go through it though?
Nah, well, that not in phaser technology, apparently, since you're firing it at a table full of people. So we get a little bit of background. We learn that Cornwell and Lorca, the Lorca she knew, came up together probably through Starfleet Academy, which is why they were, so close, and why it was so weird that he didn't remember half the shit she was talking about when they were having their intimate moments. We also learn the fate of Captain Tilly from the Mirror Universe, that the Klingons destroyed the ISS Discovery soon after they swapped places. And that's she's like, I saw the pieces of the ship myself, and I thought it was this Discovery. So that sucks that Captain Tilly isn't around anymore.
Well, I mean, it's the bad Captain Tilly. We don't really care about that.
Yeah, I know, I would have rather her been so badass that like she ran rampant through the Klingons for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like she like showed up, they couldn't figure out where the hell they were, and got blowed up. Pretty much.
Sounds about right.
And she deserves better than that. She deserves to be like that. They could have like written in like one line that was like, but she took out 13 Klingon destroyers before they got her. Like that would have been what I wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, we found the debris of the Discovery along with enough debris to cover like 13 Klingon destroyers. Yeah,
but that Discovery didn't have like the spore drive or anything like that.
No, but it was Mirror Universe people with the Mirror Universe upped ship, so it probably had weapons it was armed to the teeth, man.
Yeah, but the thing that makes, well, I mean, I doubt it's got weapons armed to the teeth. I mean, the thing that made it, I don't know, whatever. Completely doesn't even matter at this point. Doesn't matter. They got blowed up. It's too bad. They also Cornwell kind of writes off any fan idea that like Prime Lorca is still around. She says, from what you've told me about the Terran Empire, no Starfleet officer could survive that universe alone. So my Gabriel is dead, is what she says. Yeah.
No, we don't know that. And we also don't know if he swapped places with the other Gabriel. The ships may have swapped, but we know that you don't have to switch people in universes. Well, we also don't know when that's exactly. So we don't know any of this shit. So she's foolish. So that statement, whether it's meant to throw us off or it's meant to close that loop, like, worry about him. It's one of those two things. That sentence is one of those two things. It's either closing the loop and they thought that was a good enough way to close that door, or it's just kind of a, no, don't worry about him. You should think he's dead and we'll bring him back later. Who knows? I don't know. We also find out that they have disseminated the cloak breaking algorithm to the front line, so everybody's got it now. So this should turn the tide a little bit in the war. But what the Klingons have done up to this point is crazy. She goes through a couple of instances that have happened since they've been gone over the 9 months.
Dude, like when they fucking ignited the atmosphere.
Yeah, so
that was, I don't care, dude. I was like, that's cool as shit, man. Like if you're gonna kill somebody, like that's a fucking way to take out like a good group of people.
11,000 people instantly when your atmosphere just goes away. Like that's insane. The other one, like they would be cloaked and they would follow a ship into space dock. Like so you're just like, they open the doors for you. You drive your ship on in, the doors lag a little bit because they're not quite ready to close and we're not quite sure why, and then the doors close, and then there's a Klingon ship that snuck in right behind you, and then they literally do a car bomb and they blow the whole thing. They blow their antimatter.
Yeah, it was a kamikaze.
Oh yeah,
man,
right they just blew the whole ship. I mean, that's insane. They did that. They said that they did it Starbase 22 and then Starbases 19 and 12. And they said they lost a third of their fleet with those attacks. A third of the fleet, a third of what Starfleet had for ships is gone. And then, of course, they're attacking outposts at border colonies because those poor bastards, they're right there on the Klingon border. They were the first ones to go, more than likely. But we also know that none of the houses are together. Like they're all trying to one up each other. Like, nah, I did this. No, I did this. And no one's coming together.
Yeah, I'm the top dog because I killed fucking 9,000 people, or I killed 11,000.
Right,
people,
I blew up a planet,
whatever. Like, yeah, they've all got tallies of body count.
But whatever it is, it's definitely not as a unified Klingon empire, which goes against all of T'Kuvma's teachings and what he was going for, and will play a part a little bit later on in this episode, and definitely will play a part next episode, I believe. So the admiral's like, hey, we need to go to Starbase 1, which, and I forgot to look it up because I don't do research before this show, but if I'm not mistaken, I mean, it's 100 AUs from Earth is what Stamets says. So it's literally it's that Starbase, and then you're to Earth. Like that's it. Like that's the first one out there, Starbase 1. And then this is where we were talking about earlier. They said all evidence of your recent journey will be classified and destroyed. So this is how Kirk and Spock and McCoy don't know anything about the mirror universe when their switch happens 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's fine. If you want to wrap it up that way, I'm cool with that. Like you've already told a guy it's treason if you tell him somebody came over for the mirror universe. So let's just keep piling it on. We're gonna write it down and we're gonna burn it. But to get to Starbase 1, they don't have any spores, so they can't just jump there right now. So they're gonna have to travel at warp. The old-fashioned way, and at this point they're like, yeah, and we need to tell you one more thing, Admiral. So we got one more surprise up our sleeves, and that's when they walk her in to introduce her to the Emperor.
Yeah. By the way, just in case,
while you're in the middle of destroying all the evidence of things that have happened over the mirror universe, we got one more thing to show you.
Yeah, while you're over there fucking killing all the fortune cookies and shit, here's one more big one.
Right. So they rock her in. It's a neat little exchange. The Emperor is still in her mindset. So I like how as she speaks to them, like she walks around them to make them have to turn to talk to her. She's being very, alpha dog, really. And, Burnham argues for political asylum for her because, and the Admiral's like, look, we're gonna hold you at Starbase 1 until command can determine a proper course of action. I actually bolded that in my notes because what they come up with is not a proper course of action. It's not what you fucking do. Like you don't just sick someone like that on your secretest starship ever. Like you've got to be kidding me. But we'll get there. We're not there yet because the next scene is when Tyler runs into Stamets, which you mentioned earlier. And, their exchange is pretty, it's pretty gut wrenching and heartfelt. You can tell that Tyler is,
I would say it's short and intense.
Right. I mean, I was kind of waiting for Stamets to like haul off and clock him.
Nah, dude, he doesn't got that in him, man. That's not.
It's not in his
not in his
tricks.
wheelhouse, dude. I don't think that guy's punched anything in his life.
He punched him verbally.
Yes. Words are his weapon.
Right. He says, you killed a good man. He's like, does it gut you? Does it sicken you? Because then maybe you're still human after all. And that's a good, like, I understand your situation. I'm pissed as shit, but I know it's not your fault, but it's your fault.
Yeah. But I'm still not ready to be cool with you.
Right. We're not having beers after this is over. And so they pass and Tyler goes into the mess hall. And this scene is very a throwback to the scene when Burnham first enters the mess hall in like episode 3, and just the whole place goes quiet, and everybody's like, "Oh!" In fact, they were even whispering like, "That's him, like in this episode." And back in the episode 3, they were like, "Oh, it's her." You know, it's just all the little like gossipy twittering of people's. You know, when some.
I didn't even catch that.
I only caught it because I watched second at a time with closed captions on. Closed caption gives you so much more. So he sits down and Tilly does what Tilly does, man. And I love this girl for this. And she says, you know, when she approached Burnham in episode 3, she was very bubbly and very like still in her naive self, and was just very talkative with him. And this, when she sits down with Tyler in literally the exact same situation, well, I mean, not the exact same, but a very, very similar situation. Someone who's an outcast to the rest of the crew. Tyler tells her, he goes, you don't have to do this. I'm okay. And what she says, how could that possibly be true? And that was a good line. Yeah, like I got like goosebumps. Like when she said, I was like, oh girl, I was like, yeah, like, you know it, girl. I mean, it was just when she said that, I was like, you're so fantastic. And she's like, look, eat, talk if you want to, I'm here. And it's just like, she's not trying to make small talk. She's not trying to be bubbly. She's just there for this person. And it's really, it just shows already in just this short amount of episodes that where her character is headed. Like, she's going to be a very learned and a very astute and situationally aware individual by the end of all this that she wasn't at the beginning. And it's great. I love watching it. Because everybody else has kind of already run their course, really. She's the one we get to watch grow from, you know, a bubbly cadet to like a war-hardened, you know, smart, sophisticated scientist. You know, she talks about reading everything Stamets has ever written, like on his research later on in the episode. Like she is leagues above everybody else in this show right now when it comes to like growth. So.
Yeah, that's true. No, she's definitely like one of the only characters where there is what's the words I want to use here? Where there's a large room for not improvement, but you can build upon this character.
Absolutely. And then you also see where she used to be kind of an outcast herself because she was so weird is the only way I'm going to put it. You see that she's actually leading a lot of the crew. Like Detmer comes up right after she sits down and finishes talking to Tyler. Detmer, the girl who's one of the navigators on the bridge. And then, I think Awozakun may come up, and then like the black dude from the bridge, like I don't know his name yet. Like they all sort of kind of like swarm the table and like.
Yeah, well, you could see that Tilly is a natural leader, but also a growing leader as well. Like she sets the example.
Right, she leads with that.
Right, like she has in her moments, she has the time like to put her foot down and say, "Hey, this is how it's going to be." But she also knows that if I do this, I have to show people, like because she's Tilly.
Yeah,
you know, like she's this little bubbly thing that probably a whole lot of people still don't take super serious. But the people that know her, like the people on the bridge.
Right.
Understand that everything she does is God damn it, what am I trying to say here? Like it's a lead by example.
She's a reluctant leader.
Right.
She's a leader without having to lead.
Yeah. Like she doesn't, I don't even think she notices that the people gravitate towards her. People will listen to her, you know, like because everyone she's talked to has been above her. And, you know, so for the most part, they could always be like, shut the fuck up, number 9,876. Like, you're so far down the totem pole, it doesn't matter, right? But everybody else is you're starting to see that she's got a gravitas, and there's an orbit to her that people want to be around.
Well, and don't forget, this is literally the episode right after she just saved the whole fucking universe.
Yeah.
I mean, so at least the people on the bridge, I can understand why they're following her, because they're only there because of her. They're not all dead and vaporized, and all of living everything in the world is not dead because of her, pretty much. And they're home because of her. So,
yeah.
So, yeah.
But I'm just saying now, like, her actions are carrying more weight.
Yes, she is definitely coming up in the ranks, and without having the rank, she's the best kind of leader there is. The one who doesn't have to have the title to lead the people. The people will do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she could pacify the mob by just being there.
Right.
Right. Like, you know, if there was a crazy ruckus, like, she could just walk into the room now and everyone would kind of be like, what's up?
Right. Absolutely.
You know,
I completely agree. And I continue to say that she is my favorite character. It's fun watching where they take her every episode, what they get her into, what they get her to do. And that's just me. That's my crush. That's my crush talking.
That's love.
What is today?
Man.
What is today? Wednesday? It's my WCW, man. So, all right. So after this, in the mess hall, we're back on the bridge. They've been warping to Starbase 1 without incident, which is, you know, if the quadrant is crawling with Klingons, I was kind of wondering if they're even going to get there on time or get there at all. But Starbase 1 is starting to come into range. Nobody's answering any hails, and all of a sudden, Saru's threat ganglia pop out. And, like, once again, why is there not, like, a bell attached to that shit? Like, there needs to be an alarm that goes off when his shit comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is,
yeah, dude. Like, I don't understand why everyone just, like, writes that off.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that has proved to be right every fucking time. It's built into his DNA. Like, there should literally be a cadet, a person who, when he's on his off shift from cleaning the toilets, follows him around and just yells when his shit pops out of his neck. That should be the guy's entire job, because that shit is always right. So, you know, put a bell on those things, something to get those things to, like, everybody knows that they're happening and knows shit's about to go wrong. Because when they drop out of warp, Starbase 1 is a mess, and there is no human life signs. There's 200 something Klingons they find on the ship, or on the Starbase, and it's like Cornwell doesn't do too good. You can tell that she hasn't been, if she's ever been the captain of a starship, hasn't done it in a long time, because she's a psychologist, so she's all touchy-feely anyways. You know, she's concerned about, she's like, scan for life signs. She's like, you know, there's 283 Klingons. She's no humans. She's like, there are no fucking humans. She's like, there were 80,000 people on that starbase, and a large contingent of the leadership and 3 starships were at this starbase when they left it. However, last time she got a report about it.
Yeah.
And then they see that on the side is a Klingon crest, but it's not the sign of the Klingon Empire. It's only the sign of House Dagor. Burnham recognizes it. And so when they start scanning Discovery, like, you can tell all the peons on the ship are like, somebody, I can't just put this shit into warp. You got to tell me, like, I need an order. And Cornwell hesitates, which is the worst thing you can do in that situation. But Saru saves the day, because Saru is a decent freaking leader and decent captain. He's like, get into warp. Fuck out of here. We got to go. Like, we cannot stay here. So he saves the day. They warp out of there. And, you know, they're going to go make contact with Starfleet Command, or what's left of them, because a lot of them were on that space station. So that sucks. So the Klingons are literally in Earth's back door. There's nowhere else to go but Earth from there, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to, like, think, like, they're just fucked, dude.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies. I don't understand.
Is that Siri?
No, that was okay Google, I guess, apparently answering to they're fucked, man.
Yeah, well, I don't understand either, Google. I don't understand it all. All right, so then Cornwell goes to visit Laurel after this incident, and they have a little bit of an interesting conversation. She lets her know that their side is winning, which, brings a smile, if you can call it a smile, to Laurel's face. It was cool that she's also like, Laurel said, Takuvma taught us that all humans are without courage, and with her, she's like, about this, he was wrong. Because, she has this respect for Admiral Cornwell. But anyways, Cornwell lets her know that the Klingons are winning. And the problem is that it's not a united Klingon empire that's winning. It's all the houses that are broken up and not under Takuvma's vision of the Klingon empire, which is supposed to, needle at Laurel a little bit. So she asks her, she's like, how does this war end? And Laurel's like, it doesn't. She's like, the Klingons have tasted your blood. You have to conquer us or we'll never retreat or relent. And so, Cornwell's looking for any help in figuring out how to defeat the Klingons.
Well, you got to conquer us. It's the only way to stop us.
Yeah, you have to destroy us. You have to do things that will make us they'll make us hesitate and want to pull back. So They know that whatever they're doing right now is not working. So then Giorgio and Burnham are talking. Giorgio's asking about Sarek. She realized that there was a connection between the two of them. And Burnham is talking to her about the fact that the Terran Empire had explored places that had conquered areas of space that Starfleet hasn't even dared even explore yet. So she's just trying to figure out, Cornwell went to Laurel to figure out how to fix stuff, and Burnham's going to Giorgio because she knows of her tactical abilities to try. Just everyone's fishing for anything they can do to help the current situation. And this is where Giorgio tells her that the Klingons are like a cancer, and you have to cut the tumor out at the source. And she's like, "How much do you know about Kronos, the Klingon homeworld?" So then she wakes up that.
Yeah, they're like, hey, look, dude, you're basically gonna have to take the fight to them.
Yeah, so she wakes up Cornwell to brief her on, like, Burnham's like, I got,
which we go back to, like, what was it, episode 1, where it's like, we would have just fired first. Wouldn't be in any of this fucking situation.
She literally just told me this is how we're supposed to do this. So Cornwell's briefing Starfleet leadership after Burnham has briefed her off scene, because they cut to commercials, so she's briefing her while we're watching, commercials, because I'm too cheap to pay for the more expensive CBS All Access. Cornwell briefs the Starfleet leadership. It's a single coordinated attack on the Klingon homeworld, and what it's supposed to do is bring all the Klingon houses back home to protect their own land, their own area, their own houses. The problem with Kronos is that it has such a dense atmosphere that you can't scan it with long range scanners. You can't, no one's been there for 100 years, and no human has set foot on Kronos in 100 years. And if Discovery was trying to scan it, like get close enough to scan it, they would get destroyed by whatever defenses they have in the area before they have a chance to get any useful information. And so they say, in great cliffhanger fashion, we're not going to be in the sky. And then they go to they cut to the briefing where they explain that they're going to jump into the planet through the caves, because there are because Kronos, I think they said, was like
dormant volcanoes.
Yeah, extinct volcanoes.
Basically a bunch of caverns.
Yeah, so the planet's like all caves, and some of the caves are big enough to house a Crossfield class starship. Which, have we heard the designation of the Discovery that it was a Crossfield class? I think this is the first time they've said it. I don't know. I don't know
what any of that means.
Well, the Enterprise is a Constitution class starship. The Enterprise D in Next Generation is a Galaxy class starship. So the Defiant in DS9 is a Defiant class starship because it's the first one of its kind. So each starship, like, there isn't, like, if you think of the Enterprise in your head, like, there's 10 or 12 or 13 ships that look exactly like it with a different name, but they're all Constitution class. So this happens to be a Crossfield class. I wasn't sure if I even knew that, but I wrote it down because I was like, well, I didn't know if I knew the name of the class of ship it was. Because I thought it was the only one, but maybe there's more than one. Who knows? Stamets explaining he can jump them there. He goes through some mumbo jumbo about, yeah, when I'm in the mycelial network, like I can pick out where there's a hole big enough. Like I can get us there, shouldn't be an issue. The problem is that they still don't have spores. So, Stamets is like, hey, how about you set a course for the Veda system and get ready for a show? And I was just like, ooh, good. I was like, what's going to happen now? So we find out it's an unclassified, uninhabited class 4 moon, which means it's almost able to like sustain like human life. I think class 5 was the planets that they know they're not going to wear a breather down there. Maybe it was class 4. I don't remember. I haven't been over my planet classes in a while. They haven't done a lot. They used to do that like every episode for Next Generation, so you knew like why they could breathe on the planet. Like I think it was class 5. Like you could breathe, like humans can breathe there. Class 5 means you can just land there with no oxygen mask. You're fine. So yeah,
I gotcha. Okay,
so they're gonna terraform the moon. This is where Tilly says she's read I studied all of your data myself. Like you said, the research on terraforming was indeterminable. And then Stamets said that Strahl quashed the idea of terraforming. He wanted to keep the plants captive as opposed to letting them just go. Strahl, I think, was the guy on the other ship you know what? Because the other ship was the same ship as the Discovery. So they're both Crossfield classes. The one that got spun up and fucked up, that ship.
Yeah.
I think Strahl was his buddy on that ship that died. So that guy who was, the asshole of the two, he was like, no, we need to keep all this shit captive and grow it, not like terraform it and let it just go on its own, go wild. So that was kind of a neat little callback to him.
I don't remember anything about that guy other than his melted face, basically.
Yeah, the teeth. Just the teeth is what all I remember from that episode was the teeth.
Yeah, right.
It's like, no, that's just. I was like, oh, good, we're rated R. This is all access. We're rated R here. We can show all the blood and guts and the teeth. So the next scene is Sarek and Giorgio talking. What did you think? What did you think about that scene when they're like comparing Burnhams? Like it was, it's like mine's better than yours. I thought it was kind of cute.
Yeah, I didn't take too much from it. It was basically like yours is a dick, and then Sarek's basically like, yeah, mine brought down your whole empire. So what's up? Right. Like he just subtly left it at that. Was like, here's my mic. I dropped it. Mine's better.
Yeah, but then she gets a little bit of a dig in later because he's like, after their little small talk about Burnhams, he's like, so why have you requested my presence? And she goes, you were summoned, Vulcan.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, bitch, like you are literally on an island all by yourself. Like you have got to drop this shit.
But that just goes to show, man, that she's not going to change.
No, she's not. Why would you? Okay, we're almost there. We're really almost there. We're on almost the last page where I can start yelling about this decision. So this scene kind of like leaves a question mark, a big old question mark at the end of it, because Giorgio alludes that she's only told Burnham all that she can handle, because like my Burnham, she was only able to do certain, to handle so much when it comes to the hard stuff. But she tells Sarek that, hey, look, on my planet, it's a waste, like Kronos is a wasteland. We destroyed it. She's like, I'm going to show you guys how to bring them to your knees, but for that, I want my freedom. So she has more in plan than just scanning a planet and destroying. Yeah,
because what did she say? She was like, it's dust now or something like that.
Yeah, it's like black dust. Like there's nothing there, but nothing. So yeah, she planned. They in their world wasted Kronos completely. It doesn't exist really. It's just a wasteland.
It just floating particles in space now,
pretty much. So at the next scene, Sarek is leaving to go address the Federation Council. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's leaving while they're in warp to this moon. Like, I don't know where he's going. Like, he's going to a transporter room, but where the fuck are you going? Like, you're not going anywhere. You can't transport it. There's maybe another ship is like going to meet them in transit. I don't know. They don't really bring that up. They just know that he's leaving the ship. Burnham and Sarek have this nice heart-to-heart talk about, who she fell in love with, about, how she's hurt, and he's telling her, you never should regret loving someone, and it was just a really nice, like, intimate scene, like father-daughter type scene.
Yeah. He's like, look, because I know about loving people that are odd because I was with a human.
Right. I married a human. Exactly. And they have this, he says, we're at war. Logic dictates that each farewell may be our last. So they have this nice little, like, it's a rough time. We may not see each other again. It's nice knowing you.
Yeah. Our goodbyes may be permanent. So I'm going to make this one mean a little bit more.
Yeah. So it's a good little touching scene. And then Tilly and Burnham are in engineering. Tilly, Burnham's like, I like how Burnham's coming to her now for like advice. She's like, I just said goodbye to my dad and it felt different. Like it may be the last time. Which we know is not the case because Sarek lives and we know that the main characters, so they're going to see each other again. But I understand where she's coming at. It's wartime. You don't know what's going on. You got nothing.
I got nothing. You summed it up, dude. I was trying to think of something to say, and I was like,
"Yeah, we're really just pushing to get to the very last scene." So Tilly gives her an update real quick that the mycelial transport vessels are full, and then they start talking about Burnham and Sarek. And then Tilly starts bringing in Tyler, and she's like, "Look, the you must understand the darkness within us and fight it." And she's like, "Look, Tyler needs you." And Burnham's like, "I can't do it." And she says, "Look, he's something new, and what we do now, the way that we treat him, that is who he will become." And that's another one. Like she had like great lines, like this whole episode. She had some great like just poignant lines, and she's right that he's not the Tyler we knew. He's not the Vogue he was. What he is now is a completely different person.
Yeah. He is a Cleon human hybrid thing now, right? Like, I mean, he's just
a brand new person and has nothing he can fix. Okay, so next scene, we are going to grow a planet. We are going to impregnate this planet with spores, man.
Yeah, those things took off quick.
Well, the worst part was not even the worst part. The funny part was like when you saw those things launch in the trailer last episode, like I was like, "Oh, that's some cool ass looking war shit." And then it's just all sciencey crap. You're like, "Oh, it's just science stuff." But it was very cool. Like the whole like shot of them entering the atmosphere and spinning up like helicopters almost and like landing. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't understand why they spun if they had rocket propulsion.
Because it looks cool.
Because it looks cool, like yeah. But even I was like, why are the landing legs spinning? I was like, that don't make no fucking sense.
Very true. But only spun for a little bit, then they kind of steadied out, and then you're right, they just kind of landed, and then they just shot them things in the ground, and then like EM darted it, like they called them EM darts, so electromagnetic darts to make him grow faster, and that shit took off, man.
Yeah, dude, I love when they showed it on the underground where you could see all the roots taking place. That was real sweet. I enjoyed that.
That was awesome. Wow, something I wrote here: engineering really needs a view screen. Because, like, Stamets literally had to do all shit and then, like, ride the turbo lift up to the bridge to then come on the bridge and go, "Come on, babies." Don't you have a view screen in the engineering, man? You don't have to come up here to do that.
But he's got to be with everybody, man.
I know. It's all for drama. I understand. Okay, so that's cool. So we have created a whole nother moon full of spores that we can now harvest for our jumps we need to jump to. Good. And then when you harvest enough, you always have that one that you put in the back corner that you can jump back to this moon to get some more. You always have to have your backup one.
Yep.
In the back corner in the coat closet nobody knows about, so you don't mess that shit up.
Yeah, you have your break glass in case of emergency spores.
Right, exactly. Okay, so now let's let the next scene, you and I have completely different views on this. The Burnham and Tyler scene. So after talking to Tilly, and Tilly tells her, "Look, you need to go see him even if it's just to say goodbye. Give the guy some closure." So she takes her advice, as she should, because Tilly is all-knowing. And I don't even know how to start this guy. Like, Tyler...
Well, why are you so offended by what he said? Let's start with that. Like,
I'm offended
because I don't think he said anything wrong. Like, he called her out on her bullshit.
He tried to... Okay, like, I know, we all know it's not him, but for you as him to expect her to just brush aside the fact that whatever was possessing his body tried to kill her and just get over it. Well, okay, step back. Okay, let me read what he says when he gets angry, because I wrote it down because I was like, this motherfucker. He says, I want you to admit it. Admit that you can't do this anymore because you finally went there with someone and things got complicated. Okay, full stop. 1 second. Complicated? No. Like, complicated is like, your parents don't like me and shit got complicated. Not, I had another entity inside me who then I switched to, and then I fucking tried to kill you until Superman Saru, Slave Master, threw me off you. That's not complicated. That's some messed up shit. But, and then he adds on to it because he's increasingly getting like frustrated at her and angry at her. I'm like, you can't be mad at her.
But I'm saying, because he loves her and she said she loved him, and like, she's just like, peace out, dude. And he's like, we're not even gonna try to like fight for this. Like, and she's just like, I don't feel feelings. I'm leaving.
I know she does shut that. She does go Vulcan quick as shit. Yeah. And then but then he has to like, and we've all done it. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't back in my day when I was a young buck and doing stupid shit. Like, if he had stopped there and then they had like a complicated, conversation like you and I having right now and explained, look, we both love each other. Let's try to see if we can get through this thing. No. Then he goes like literally on top of that sentence. He says, because your parents were killed by Klingons and you fell in love with one. Like, that's to drop the mic. That ends the conversation.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they were never going to have that conversation though. Like, Burnham had already made up her mind without any input from him whatsoever. Like, that's what he's so fucking frustrated about. He's like, I'm over here going through this crazy ass shit. And yeah, I understand I fucked up. Like, I killed a dude. Hey, but I'm not that person. And Burnham's still like, you are that person.
Right. I see Voke's
that's
eyes.
The whole big fucking, the whole big fucking problem here.
I think she'll get past it. Look, you're okay. I'm not on your side, but you're right. I will never admit that you are completely right. But yes, in the scientific string of things, the entity that did all the harm is not the one that she is staring at and having a conversation with, and is not the one that she fell in love with. She didn't fall in love with the Klingon. She fell in love with Tyler, with consciousness that was grafted onto Voke's tore up body. So
yeah,
he is wrong.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like, he's in the mode to fight for it, and she's already like, no. I mean, basically, like, they're in the breakup stage where, like, you're like, hey, babe, don't leave me, and she's already like out the fucking door, and he's like, but I didn't even get to like tell you.
He didn't even get to
anything, So of course he's gonna drop that hammer on her. Like, hey, if I'm gonna say some shit, I'm gonna get your attention. Then, if you're not gonna attention,
okay. And you're right. So, like I said, you're right. I just thought I didn't feel like maybe it's because that.
Could he have gone about it better? Yes. I'm not,
okay.
I'm not arguing.
Okay. Yeah, let's go there.
Like, could he have gone about it better? Yes, but I also think though Burnham was so shut down that was the only way to get her to like have a little bit of fire. Yeah, he lit a little fire under her ass.
Right, but has she even been briefed on... I'm not even sure if she's been briefed on the whole situation, like what was physically done to him. And yes, he's physically Klingon underneath, but he has the... I feel like because was raised Vulcan, that you could have actually appealed to her scientific / logical side and been like, look, here's the facts. When I did these bad things, I wasn't Tyler. My body changed to Voke. And now that has been cut off and I'm just Tyler. I don't know. I figured, like, all we know is that when we did that shit as younger kids and young adults, it never worked then, and it definitely didn't work now for him either.
Oh yeah, dude. But it's hard to talk to anybody when they're not giving you a chance. Like, and that's what she's doing. Like, she's not even giving him a chance. Like, she's like, other than, hey, I came here to say my piece and now I'm leaving. He's like, but I got a whole fucking laundry list of things to say, and you don't want to hear any of it.
Right. He'll get to say it. Like I said, the sexual tension there will be there. In fact, I think on the trailer we see that like they are doing a mission together again. Like, he's already back doing missions, probably because of his Klingon knowledge he can access. Like, they're in some sort of like black leathery garb. I don't know what they're doing, but they're definitely going somewhere, and he is not confined to the ship anymore. So that will be fun. The writers are creating this split to give us that conflict in the show, which is fine. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. Like you said, I think they'll come back around, but I think Burnham just was like, she went too ice cold for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Other than immaturity of relationship knowledge. The only thing she doesn't know is that. So yes.
Yeah.
Do all of us know that she went too cold too fast? Yes. Does she know that she did something wrong? She's just reacting how we all did the first time. Pretty much. The first breakup.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Like, I mean, I agree with that 100%, but like, I don't know, like, I kind of like you said though, like, like I kind of expected her Vulcan side to at least be a little more intrigued by what was going on, or not intrigued maybe, but at least willing to understand.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, nah, just I'm pure human on this one, man. I'm mad. I'm upset. I don't want to hear any of it.
Yeah. So that will be fun to watch, either this next episode for sure, and definitely into the second season. So that will be hopefully a rolling thing. Because if they kill him off next episode, then it's a wasted. You have like episodes and episodes of material you can write for those two, like, because they're gonna have to work together, and it will be great. But if you like kill him off next episode because of whatever away team thing, or Giorgio turns on him or whatever, I don't know. I'm not sure if I trust the writers to not do away with somebody before we could really explore their entire, arc that we could do, i.e. Culber and Stamets. We've already talked about that though. So last scene, we are at the end. It is time to reveal the big reveal for the show, which I cannot believe they did this. So we first see Cornwell briefing Sarek, Hollow Sarek, from wherever he is, on the success of the spore harvest. Then they say that, or Sarek says, despite the risk, we must proceed on the course they have set. I don't think he's talking about just jumping to Kronos. I think he's talking about the risk of putting Giorgio as captain. I think that's what he's talking about. Despite the risk, we must proceed, because they need her as captain with her knowledge of Kronos and what they did on the Mirror Universe. They need her in this spot.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not just the jumping. Yeah. So at first they're like, maybe they're just talking about jumping to Kronos and doing this survey, but no, they're talking a whole bunch more. So Cornwell leaves the ready room and goes under the bridge. She has them turn on the surround sound microphone to everybody on the whole ship. So she's broadcasting ship wide. She informs them they're going to jump to Kronos, inside Kronos. And it's the first time since Captain Archer and the NX-01 Enterprise did it almost 100 years ago. Because if you go back and watch Broken Bow, which is the first episode of Enterprise, they are bringing a wounded Klingon back to the homeworld. And then, hilarity ensues. Not really. But definitely a great pilot episode, by the way, if you're ever interested in watching it. So Admiral Cornwell introduces the crew. She's like, let me introduce you to Captain Philippa Giorgio. And so she walks out on the deck she was like waiting in the wings, or like, it was just so perfectly timed. And there she is, and she's got her hair done like it's supposed to be, and she's wearing the right Starfleet uniform. And Burnham and Saru look at each other like, okay, why would you not fucking tell them? Why would you wait until you're going to brief the entire ship to tell your first, at least Saru? At least you're first officer. Like, why like, you're creating... Okay, the writers are creating this dynamic of Saru and Burnham having to team up against Giorgio. I understand that. But from a leadership perspective, why would you not brief the upper level first before you brief the entire crew?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I really have no reason.
There isn't one. There's not one.
It's
a
like I
question.
can't think of anything for the counter argument,
Other than you don't care what they have to say, which can happen.
But I mean, maybe that is the case. Like, she's just like, I got to do what needs to be done to win.
Yeah, but tell your upper management first. It's like coming to a company thing where you have all your VPs and C-level folks and being like, "Hey, I'm selling the company." Like, why would you not tell us before you told everybody else? Yeah. So Burnham and Saru share some side-eye glances like, are you fucking kidding me? But the other people on the bridge, Detmer, Wozakun, the folks who were on the Shinzo are just like wetting themselves in excitement that their captain is back, and they're so excited and happy. I mean, Detmer she gives her like goo eyes. Yeah, I mean, but that was their captain, man. Like, that's just I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all like, it's a homecoming.
Right. The admiral gives a good excuse, gives a good reasoning that they had rescued her from a Klingon prison vessel. And to Detmer's defense, she only knew that Giorgio beamed over to the Klingon coffin ship, and then they never saw her. And Burnham, the one who's a mutineer, said she was dead. So I can understand why she would be accepting of the fact that Giorgio is alive, in the back of her mind. And of course, it'll drive a wedge. You told me she was dead, that kind of thing. Or you told, that's going to be the thing between Burnham and the rest of the crew is now she's a liar, unless they say that she was injured. I mean, you didn't see her die. Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's just for drama.
It's a very confusing piece of the puzzle. And I don't get it, but maybe next episode will explain it a little bit more. And also it'll give you that whole, I don't know. I don't even know what it'll give you.
I don't know.
I don't.
It's all for,
I don't like, I mean, I got it. I was like, okay, cool. They're going to put her in the lead because she could plot the course to Kronos. But again, you didn't need her in the front chair.
Right. Yes, you could have and if you wanted,
this was also like, and I get it, like how you were saying, like, why didn't you tell anybody or whatever? But like, I mean, if they would have told everybody and then put her in the front seat, I understand that, because how are you going to hide
on the ship,
Giorgio, right, for this fucking long, right?
Well,
like
that's where I said earlier that at least as a figurehead only, and she acts as the captain, but she really reports to Saru and really Burnham, to be honest, because they're the ones that know that she came over from there. They're the only two that know that she came over from the mirror universe. So she still reports to those two, but she wouldn't. Who knows? Maybe she said she wouldn't have that. That's not the way it's going to work. I'm going to run this ship. And this is just Federation. This is just Starfleet Command. This is a royal fuck up. It's going to end up being a royal fuck up, and it's going to be great to watch. Let's put it that way. It's going to be like,
yeah, this is one of those, like, this is such a dumb idea. Like, I want to watch it blow up in your face.
Right. And that's what it's going to end up being. It's going to go down as the dumbest idea in the world. Do we think, okay, so we've pretty much, and that's how the show ends. Like, she tells everybody to take their station, and Saru's like, yes, Captain. It's like, fuck. And there's just more side-eye glances between Burnham and Saru. So they're getting to be buddy-buddy without even having to say anything. They're like, no, you good? We're good? Two of us? We're good. Okay, good. You and me all day long. Yeah, so right. That's how the show ends. Now, let's do a little speculation. Do we think Giorgio is going to soften and actually, like, sacrifice herself for somebody later on, or become... Is she ever going to be able to shake what she is completely, or her whole goal is to get home, right?
Yeah, her whole goal is to get home, or she wants her freedom because she thinks she can take over this whole place.
She probably does think that. She probably thinks that she's like, you guys are letting me be captain of this ship. Like I'm already halfway there.
Well, you saw that shitty little smirk she had at the end.
Oh, what I love the actress, but man, I was like, you fucking bitch. It's like, damn it. Like you're going to play that character just as well as you played like the wholesome character on the other end.
Yeah, like, damn you and your good acting.
Damn you and your skills. So yeah, I'll be interested to see if they take her darker where the whole crew is going to have... I mean, you're talking treason charges for folks who know about the mirror universe and know that she's not who she says. Because, okay, let's put ourselves in let's go back. Let's put ourselves in poor transporter room guy shoes. This poor bastard is one of 3 people on the ship who's like, he's sitting in his room. He's probably taking a shit right now when she's doing this all over the ship hail, and he's taking a dump listening to the Cornwell say Captain Giorgio, and he's like, "Aw, fuck."
Yeah, he was like, if all the other humans I know weren't dead already, I would be requesting a transfer somewhere else.
Right. If there was anywhere else, I'd be requesting that, but that doesn't exist anymore. That poor guy. I want to see that's the scene I want to see. I want to see them cut away to like him on the shitter.
You know what they need? Like when the Blu-ray comes out, they need all the secondary characters and like their reaction scenes. You know?
Right. I mean, just having served in the military, having served in the Marine Corps and having been a Lance Corporal and like knowing, you know, the Lance Corporal network is only secondary to like the Colonel's network because usually the Lance Corporals are the ones who are serving the coffee in the briefing room with all the colonels and admirals and shit. And like they hear, and so their news is almost as good as like whatever. If the Lance Corporals are talking about it, then it's pretty much true because they've heard it from way up top because they're driving that guy around or serving coffee at that conference, you know, that meeting. So yeah, just to see like the peons of the ship reacting to this stuff. Oh man, it would be great. Especially the guy who knows what's up. Let's just not forget there's one other guy on the ship who knows what's up. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be great drama. It'll be great to watch. I'm excited about next episode. We were talking earlier before we were recording. It's a good build-up episode.
Yeah, it was. It's a good episode to lead you into the final.
Yeah, and the final looks like it's going to be insane. There's a little bit of Giorgio whooping on Laurel's ass in the prison. I saw that in the trailer, I think. Yeah, there's going to be some crazy shit. There's some sort of Tyler gets in on it somewhere. He's on some, you know, mission where they're all in leather black stuff, going somewhere, probably on Quonos, probably because he knows of the current Quonos because he has Voke's memories. So Burnham and him are going to have to work together. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Yeah, he'll have to navigate the tunnels because the ship won't be able to go somewhere.
Right. Or they'll have to go in a shuttlecraft and something. Or the scanning drone will get hung up somewhere and they'll have to go fix it or who knows. But I'm looking forward to the next episode. As we said earlier on in the podcast, folks, it'll probably be a later recording. If not our normal Wednesday night, probably won't even go out till Thursday or Friday of next week. We apologize, but hey, it's a hobby. You guys can't tell us what to do. So remember to subscribe and hit your notifications because that shit ain't coming out the same day anytime. We also appreciate you guys showing up.
The only thing consistent with us is our inconsistency.
Boom, write that down, put it on a shirt. Speaking of shirts, there still are some available over at Teespring if you want to get one of the official Two Dads Review t-shirts over there. It's pretty cool. Corey made the design. It's pretty sexy. People will ask you, what is that? You can tell them all about us. That's a good way to get the word out.
You can point them right to our podcast and then they'll want to buy a shirt and then they'll point someone else to our podcast and they'll want to buy a shirt. It'll be awesome.
Game over.
That's how organic growth happens.
Right. And we need you guys to do it. So any chance you get, let me see y'all sharing the tweets of the show coming up. Yeah. See you sharing on Facebook.
Buy a t-shirt, man. Buy a t-shirt.
also buy things. Go to the Patreon, donate there or whatever.
We really want to get into kind of like Spaceballs areas where there's just like Two Dads coffee mugs, Two Dads toys, Clay action figure, Corey action figure.
I want one.
Yeah, we just want to pretty much just have our faces and our life everywhere in your life at the same time.
We want to be in you.
Oh man, with your consent. Let me put that out there.
Of course. And I won't blame you for falling in love with the Klingon after your Klingons killed your parents. When we break up, I won't go there, I promise. All right, that's enough. We quit. We're done. That's the episode.
Guys, we love you. Thank you for listening.
Right, we love you consensually.
Just
Until next week.